Greetings. My name is Dr. Omni, and I am a Black Joy scholar, artist, and activist. And for the purpose of today's conversation, I invite you to participate. So you may raise your hand, shout out your answer, but whatever it is you do, don't take too much time because I only have 5 minutes, all right? So let's begin with the question. How many of you like to do puzzles? Great. And what is the first step that you normally do when you start your puzzle?
Find the corners.
Thank you. You find the 4 corners. So the 4 corners to frame today's conversation include who, what, where, and why. Now you might want to pay attention because there just might be a pop quiz at the end. Who? Black people. What? Black joy. Where? Green spaces, also referred to as nature. And why? To explore nature's influence on the emotional, social, physical, and spiritual well-being of Black people, but secondly, and more importantly, to provide a counter-narrative to the typical deficit lens that is generally applied to research regarding the Black experience. So now that you have 4 corners, what is your next step? Wonderful, thank you so much. So the 4 edges, we're not going to have a pop quiz, but sit back and enjoy because those edges include theory, methodology and method, research design, and findings. While working on my dissertation, I developed the Kujima theory of collective self-motivation. And within this theory, it is deeply rooted in womanism and is enhanced by 3 quantum principles. Those principles are Kujichagulia, which means self-determination, Kumba, which is creativity, and Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Now, that's just the theory. When it comes to the methodology, my main methodology is in darkened visual narrative inquiry. Sounds like a mouthful, and I promise to explain, but I pause here to acknowledge Drs. McClish Boyd and Dr. B, for they are the ones who developed in darkened narrative inquiry in 2020. So let me step over here and explain. Narrative inquiry is a research tool using stories. Visual narrative inquiry is about using images. And endarkened is a term that was coined by Dr. Cynthia Dillard as a way to provide cultural connection and reclamation from the word enlightened. Therefore, I research Black experiences through a positive Black lens to provide illumination to the masses. And the way that I shine light on the subject of Black joy in green spaces is with these methods. I use walking, photography, videos, and photo elicitation interview. So by combining these 4 arts-based research practices, along with my 25-year background in public health, I'm able to do so much more than just simply contribute to a body of knowledge. I improve the bodies, minds, and spirits of Black people everywhere. So let's talk about the research design. This design was an intergenerational study that invited 4 Black women ranging in ages between 24 and 58, and I was included in that study, and one of the other participants are also here in the room today. Within this conversation, they had a chance to talk to me about their lived experiences and being in green spaces. Following our one-on-one conversation, we walked around Piney Z, which is a local green space, and I invited them to take as many photos of things that brought them joy. Now, one participant took as few as 24, the other as many as 98, and then the challenge was to narrow that down to only 5 photos. And during those 5 photos, we could dive deeper into the meaning behind the pictures, photo elicitation interview, as well as their experiences. So, now the research questions. For the sake of time, I am not able to go through all of these, but I do want to focus on number 2 because that really elevates and amplifies the importance of my work. So how does Black joy show up for Black women who commune regularly with nature? The 4 answers are present here. Gradual authenticity, a collective self-ideology, expanded compassion, and number 4 is the most important piece that I need you to understand because my research is a restorative practice. It's not just restorative for the participant, but also for the researcher and those who receive it. Therefore, it's a triple win when it comes to studying Black joy in green spaces. Now, I'm gonna give you a brief intermission break. Enjoy the music, even though you can't hear it. And it's on pause, but enjoy the participants. And then let's prepare our minds for these questions. Here's a pop quiz. If I were to ask who, you would say? If I were to ask what, you would say? If I were to ask where, you would say? I'll give you the why. To provide a counter-narrative to the typical deficit lens that is generally applied to research regarding Black experiences. Thank you.